This episode of The Totally Rad Show is brought to you by Driver San Francisco. Coming up, we continue our quest to put together our top movies in Versus.
All right, we're back for Versus.
Fan favorite.
Two movies enter. One movie is chosen as our favorite. One movie...
They're still in there. They're still, they
don't leave. One doesn't leave.
Nobody leaves.
Right.
Nobody leaves.
I'm just trying to make a Thunderdome joke.
All right.
So yeah, we choose our favorite movie, and we also compile a list of shame movies we haven't seen using the website flickchart.com. If you go to flickchart.com/totallyradshow, I believe you can see our current list. Last time we were compiling within our top 50. I think
we were honing.
We were honing in. I think we're back to
need new movies.
We need new movies in our 50 to hone from.
Yep. So let's see
we
what we
honed.
get.
Now we're unhoning.
Yeah.
Okay, are you ready?
Yes.
28 Days Later versus Napoleon Dynamite.
28 Days Later. I'm gonna say 28 Days Later. Both
Napoleon Dynamite.
really strong movies within their category.
Yeah.
It's funny because I thought last time you were like, 28 Days Later is a great movie.
It's a great movie,
Yeah.
but I just thought
I will tell
I've
you
seen
this right now.
Napoleon Dynamite way more times than I've seen 28 Days Later, and would watch it in a heartbeat in any moment.
So okay, it's interesting. Have you watched it recently? Because what I was gonna say is both really strong within their own genre.
Yes.
But 28 Days Later, I actually revisited recently, and it was stronger than it ever was, and still relevant and awesomely made. Napoleon Dynamite, I cannot laugh at it. I mean, it's not its fault, but all that's in it has become so ubiquitous that it's like not funny anymore.
It's funny that this has happened because
that's what I said.
I did the same thing. Napoleon Dynamite happened to be on. It happened to be just at the beginning, and I was like, oh, interesting. And I started watching, and I was like, wow, this doesn't connect with me anymore.
Yeah.
But 28 Days Later.
But very influential and massive.
I'm
really
going
excited
28 Days
for
Later.
the cartoon series too.
That could
Very
bring it
excited.
all.
28 Days Later for me.
28 Days Later for me.
Winner.
Winner, chicken dinner.
Young Frankenstein versus High Fidelity.
Young
High Fidelity.
Frankenstein. Definitely Young
High
Frankenstein.
Fidelity.
Young Frankenstein, one of the best comedy movies of all time.
Ever.
But let me just say,
I like High Fidelity.
In defense, I know you guys like it. That's cool. Or maybe you love it, but you love Young Frankenstein more. High Fidelity, hilarious, one of the best comedies. Also, a movie I take with me, I think about all the time. It has impacted my life, has affected my decisions. Young Frankenstein ain't much meat on the bones.
Actually, it impacts all of my decisions, Young Frankenstein.
It does.
Do you?
That's why I build Frankenstein monsters.
And try to stay young.
Yeah, Frankenstein.
All right, Terminator 2, Judgment Day versus Chicken Run.
Terminator 2, Judgment Day.
Chicken Run is a great movie.
Poor Chicken Run.
But Terminator 2.
Rush Hour versus Close Encounters of the Third Kind.
Close Encounters of the Third Kind.
Which I recently rewatched and is
Although I really liked it.
very unusual movie. So awesome.
Agreed.
Men in Black versus Night at the Museum.
Men
I've
in
never
Black.
seen My Night at the Museum.
Haven't seen
Oh,
it.
you should see it. It's. I mean,
No,
it's,
I shouldn't. I don't think.
It's. I mean, it's one of those. If you're on a plane and Night at the Museum's on, watch it.
I'll read.
You fly so much that like.
I know
it
that's the
doesn't
problem.
really
Nobody
count.
else, I guess, in this room
I like
flies.
reading on planes.
Men in Black versus Shawshank Redemption.
Shawshank Redemption.
Obviously.
One of the greatest films ever. If that needs to be honed, let's hone it.
It's
I
number
think we
2 on our
already
list
did.
right now.
Number 2 on our list.
Nice.
Mr. and Mrs. Smith versus Charlie's Angels.
I love both of them.
Really?
Yeah.
Those are two movies that aren't amazing, but are both very fun.
They may
I'm
actually
gonna
be
go
written
with
by the same
Charlie's
person.
Angels because it's fun in a stupid way, and I did not like Mr. and Mrs. Smith at all.
I
don't know
didn't
how you
dislike
don't
Mr.
like
and
it.
Mrs. Smith. I think it falls apart at the end.
I'm Mr. and Mrs. Smith.
But I'm gonna go
Neither
with
of these
Charlie-
movies
I'm
would
gonna
I
go with
go.
Charlie's Angels.
Charlie's Angels
Really?
is
It's
so
way more fun. When that came out, I was like, this
I
is
love
fucking
Charlie's
fun.
Angels.
It's fun.
When Mr. and Mrs. Smith came
so
out, I
fun.
watched it and I was like, I did not like that movie.
Really?
And then when I
Oh.
revisited it, I was like, oh, this is okay. It's a better movie than I remember it being because the end is so bad that I forgot all of the fun stuff that I saw when I walked out of the theater. I was like, wow, that was a horrible movie. But then when I watched it again, I'm like, oh, it's a great movie with a bad ending.
I see.
And Charlie's Angels, I thought, was just pure popcorn.
Well, I say Mr.
It doesn't.
Mrs. Smith,
I don't
but
think
I'm
it's gonna
outvoted.
hold up over time, but
No, yeah, of course.
Beetlejuice versus Full Metal Jacket.
Beetlejuice.
whoa.
I'm going Beetlejuice. And I picked FMV or J.
Yeah, you know, I think
before.
it might go Beetlejuice as well.
FMVJ.
Yeah.
It's a Wonderful Life versus Shawshank Redemption.
Oh! happening right now?
This is literally the question that is asked people as their senior thesis in film school.
It just got real.
Yeah, but
Shawshank Redemption.
Problem is
It's
that
a Wonderful Life.
We broke the segment.
but the problem is that
Can you say tie?
as we saw in our segment of It's a Wonderful Life, I didn't grow up, or we all didn't grow up.
No,
watching
none of
it.
us.
We don't
watched
have
it.
that.
That was stolen from us. That
By the
experience.
Shawshank Redemption by Frank Darabont.
So I have to say Shawshank.
No, you can't make that easy a choice.
Yeah. Yeah.
You can't.
I almost want to say It's a Wonderful Life just so that Jeff has to make the horrible decision.
Is Sophie's choice. The next question is Shawshank Redemption, It's a Wonderful Life, or third option, Sophie's choice.
Yeah.
We can't decide this.
You said Shawshank, right?
I said Shawshank for sure.
Oh my God, I can't decide that.
Why? What are your?
I was like, but in Wonderful Life, the feeling I felt at the end, and then I was like, I had that feeling in the end of Shawshank.
Yeah.
It's the same
Yeah,
feeling.
Yeah. I'm gonna say It's a Wonderful Life and leave it to Jeff.
Fuck you guys. Can we just skip this one?
No, you can't. You
gotta
have to
make
pick
a
one.
choice. Make a stand.
Tell me why you said Shawshank, because you didn't grow up with it. You didn't grow up with
Yeah, not that I grew up with Shawshank, but
Oh, it hurts my brain.
I love it. I think It's a Wonderful Life was awesome, and you know it's historical, as is sort of Shawshank, and well maybe less so in Shawshank, but Shawshank is
Oh, it hurts.
is like less on the nose, life affirming. Like there's something.
Yeah, but nobody was life affirming back then. It's only on the nose because it's the first time.
I
It's
also
not
feel
like
like it's ironically, Shawshank is kind of untouchable, and It's a Wonderful Life has been touched. Like there's a lot of movies that have taken that, you know, more on, you know, what's
Here's what I want to do.
happening.
Envision our list.
It's also
Envision the
Christmas
list, and you're
Carol.
looking down and you're seeing number 1, number 2, number 3, and you see
It's a Wonderful
Shawshank
Life.
and It's a Wonderful Life, and if one of them is above the other, are you like, what?
No, I mean, because for
Both
me,
great movies.
everyone's gonna have a different list, and the most personal list for me, and I think even for the identity of our show, It's a Wonderful Life isn't up there for us, but for other people it would be. You know,
I agree with that.
still a high movie.
can't.
I think I'm gonna change to Shawshank. You just convinced me to change to Shawshank.
All right, well then I'm gonna say It's a Wonderful
Shawshank.
Life, and then it'll be Shawshank. Weird if Sophie's Choice was the next movie.
Yeah.
No, it's A Bug's Life versus Goonies.
Goonies.
Goonies. Although I feel bad for A Bug's Life because that is one of my favorite.
Is it really?
Really? It's like
Pixar
one of the
movies.
weaker Pixar
I think
movies.
it's
No,
the
I think it's
weakest.
one of my favorite Pixar movies.
Wow.
I loved it. Yeah.
Aliens versus Eyes Wide Shut.
Aliens.
You guys know how I love Eyes Wide Shut,
But you don't like it more than Aliens.
Come on.
Team America World Police versus Watchmen.
Team America World Police.
Sorry.
Sorry, Jeff.
Look at these like a
What do you have? What do you think?
I don't
though?
know.
Come
I
on.
would be torn.
America. Fuck yeah.
I mean, I would take the comic book Watchmen over Team America.
That's not what we're doing. It's not versus multimedia.
Yeah.
It's
should
versus
do that,
one
though.
media.
Bowling for Columbine versus Jaws.
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 Juno versus Grease.
Any other movie.
Grease?
Grease.
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 Over Juno? I disliked that movie.
Why are you saying that like Grease would be a shocking pick?
I was saying for Alex.
He hates
Any
Juno.
movie
I
is
know,
better than
but-
Juno.
Are you kidding?
It's not any.
I mean, not better, but
I think Grease is probably better than Juno as well.
Definitely.
yeah.
Love Juno. but Grease is Grease.
Italian Job versus South Park Bigger Longer.
South Park, bigger,
So,
longer, and
South Park, yeah.
Problem. Woo.
Wedding Crashers versus Die Another Day.
Wedding Crashers.
Wedding Crashers. Sorry, I was spacing. You always say woo. Are you doing Big Trouble in Little China?
No.
No.
That's from something else. Okay, what is it from? I'm
Anything.
sorry.
His bathroom.
An inside
5
joke
years
I had
ago.
with my friend
Yeah.
Jerry. Yeah.
That's exactly it. And Ryan.
All right.
Independence Day versus Lethal Weapon.
Lethal Weapon.
Oh, the original Lethal
No
Weapon?
problem.
Lethal
Yeah,
Weapon.
Lethal Weapon.
Yeah. I was just wondering.
Independence
Was
Day
Lethal
is
Weapon
not
3.
good.
Oh, I
I'm
see.
sorry.
Finding-
Did they
Please
reboot that
say
yet?
otherwise.
Finding
Actually-
Nemo.
Actually, I like Lethal Weapon 4.
Finding Nemo versus LA Confidential.
Finding Nemo.
Versus LA Confidential.
LA Confidential, badass flick. Finding Nemo is the answer.
Interesting. I'm glad you told me
I'm
that.
gonna go with
I'm
Finding
actually
Nemo
going to
as
go
well.
with Finding Nemo as well.
Well,
Not
well,
because
well.
it's the answer, but because I chose it.
Also because it's the answer.
X-Men Last Stand versus Ocean's 11.
Ocean's
Ocean's
11.
Not a problem.
Why don't you just tell me the name of the movie?
Liar Liar versus Back to the Future. That's no question.
Back to the Future.
We're not even going to answer that. Mike's just going to select what he
Yes,
knows.
I'll select it
in his
for you.
heart.
Sit here with
I'm surprised he even asked us
I
the
know.
question.
Interview with
Interview
Vampire.
with the vampire.
versus Finding Nemo.
Finding Nemo.
Interview with the Vampire? Not so good.
Really?
Not that good.
I haven't seen it in a very long time.
Very long.
40-Year-Old Virgin versus True Lies.
True Lies.
True Lies.
And I love 40-Year-Old Virgin, but True Lies is one of my favorite movies.
Apollo 13 versus A Clockwork Orange.
Clockwork Orange,
You didn't like
yo.
Apollo 13?
I didn't like Apollo 13.
Really?
I know, yeah.
I'm gonna go with Apollo 13.
I
I love A Clockwork Orange, but
boy.
it makes me feel bad.
I also feel that way about Clockwork Orange, actually. But I really didn't enjoy Apollo 13.
I'm gonna do Apollo 13.
I like feeling good. I know it's terrible, and
I just love that they use the vomit comet to actually show Zero G, and that is...
they also use that to show Clockwork Orange rape scene.
Boogie Nights versus Batman Returns.
Boogie Nights. Love Batman Returns. I might like Batman Returns over Batman.
Oh, Batman Returns.
Catwoman,
Boogie
Penguin,
Nights. Yeah.
That was like more Tim Burton-y. That's
Oh,
kind of
way
like
more
more
Tim
Tim Burton-y than he had
Crazy
ever been.
clowns with
Yeah.
like blowguns and
Yeah.
stuff.
Okay, last one. Taxi Driver versus The Godfather.
Godfather.
Show broke
Godfather.
again.
No, Godfather.
It
Easy.
is Godfather
I
me
did
too.
not like
Yeah, you're like, yeah, you're right.
I didn't know that we all
I'm just
felt that
kidding,
way.
Godfather.
Yeah, I love Godfather.
Godfather.
Yeah.
I would take
Actually,
Godfather over most things.
I take Godfather 1 over Godfather 2. Controversial choice. Controversial choice.
Really?
I would agree with
too.
that.
I don't even know if
agree
I
with that.
saw Godfather 2. Controversial choice.
We got to do that as a review.
Yeah.
That'd be amazing.
Amazing.
I didn't see it until recently.
We have been versed in verses.
Versus.
All right, everybody, be sure to stick around for this day in rad history. But first, we want to thank our sponsor, Dan Trachtenberg.
Driver San Francisco, folks.
Brand new video game.
Brand new video game. The original developers behind Driver 1, which was the #1 video game of 1999.
Yes.
Crazy. Also,
Like the #1.
yeah, so like The Matrix was in theaters.
Yes.
Phantom Menace had
We were
come
all
out.
worried about Y2K.
Right?
Yes.
And freaking Driver, #1 video game of all time. And so the developers behind Driver 1 and Driver 2 are back to create Ubisoft's first Driver title.
Nice.
So San Francisco is the playground in the video game. It makes a ton of sense for Driver to bring its open world expertise to San Francisco. There's over 200 miles of drivable roads in the game, and its
crazy.
representation of the city by the bay is insanely accurate. It has the ferry building, the Transamerica building, the Golden Gate Bridge.
Golden Gate Bridge, that's all I need.
Does it have my heart? Because that's where I left it.
Interesting. I believe Full House, the house from Full House is in the game.
Oh my god, amazing. Drive by the house from
It'd be amazing. Or like crash into it. Driver is known for its classic muscle cars. So the 1968 Mustang GT Fastback.
Very nice
The
car.
74 Gran Torino. The 1970 Chevelle SS.
Chevelle SS, yeah.
They're all in the game. In fact, there's over 120 licensed cars within it. So pick a car and jam on that throttle.
Jam on.
Jam on it.
Jam on. Jam on.
By the way, I've been playing it and it's awesome. So.
Well, there, yeah.
So
Take that.
Don't miss tomorrow's show for our review of Contagion.
Today is September 8th, and on this day in rad history, back in 1966, Star Trek makes its debut on NBC.
Space.
And Star Trek,
The
one
final
of
frontier.
the interesting things about Star Trek that a lot of people know, but I'm going to reiterate, is that it wasn't very successful at all, and was I think only on for one season, maybe two. I think it might have just been the one.
Yeah. That's because Joss Whedon wrote it. Little known fact.
Heyo, heyo. Yes, the 2-year-old Joss Whedon, or the not-year-old. He probably was like. Anyway, thank you at Juliana Papas. Papas.
I think it's Julian.
Yeah, I think it's a guy.
Julian Papas.
Julian.
Pass the Papas, Julian. Papas. Papas.